Obviously, the term idol in Japan has very clear connotations, usually associated with female pop idol groups that have massive groups of fans fawning over them. Well, there was a very similar kind of group back in the day, and it's honestly awesome to learn about it in this chapter, and seeing all these legends interact together is just priceless. It's honestly everything we could have wanted, as we'll see. But anyways, someone says, that was some pirate attack. Another speech bubble says, why aren't any of you fighting back? Another says, you guys are useless. And soon we find out what's going on as we see men on the ground with heart symbols in their eyes. It's commented that they've taken everything, and you men are hopeless. One of the men hilariously says, they were strong, while a woman responds, you didn't lift a finger. Now what are we supposed to do? We're told even the Marines could not oppose this group. They were known as the Kuja Pirates, a crew that hailed from the elusive Isle of Women. Familiar stuff. A fierce and stunning pirate band, off limits to men. We get a beautiful woman with people fawning over her. She says, I grow wary of my own beauty. Day and night, it always goes this way. Will I ever be free to shed it? This is hilarious for a number of reasons. First off, she doesn't mean it, as we'll find out very soon. If anything, she wishes she was more beautiful than someone else we're about to see. But second, we are introduced to her, and it's the past Empress of Amazon, Lily Gloriosa, aka future Elder Nyon. And as we know, her beauty is definitely not what it once was in the present day. It's a common thing we see with Oda, and we'll see Big Mom here shortly too, who as we know also looked quite different in her youth. Some of the women say Captain Gloriosa is a goddess. They add, she's unbearably cute. I'm in love. Her radiance is making my mind go blank. My heart can't afford to beat this hard. Another future empress who is very young here, Tritoma, some have actually speculated that she could be Luffy's mom, runs to Gloriosa with a bunch of new fan letters. The empress asks about the way bigger pile in the back, 100 times bigger pile, and is told that those are for Shaki, a name you may recognize as belonging to the wife of Roger's right-hand man, Silver's Rayleigh. So Rayleigh got quite the catch, as we'll see and are seeing right now in the flashback. As I alluded to earlier, Gloriosa is upset at being upstaged, calling it a total betrayal by one of her people. And the narrator says, indeed, the only one said to outshine the radiant Gloriosa, the star of her era, was none other than her first mate, Shakuyaku. When they see the Roger pirates approaching, it's soon clear that this time Gloriosa is the one fawning over someone, and she's fawning over the one and only Goldie Roger. Roger says, hand her over, Kuja Pirates. Today's the day we finally win her from you. We're taking your first mate, Shakuyaku. Gloriosa, upset though, says, you never learned, Roger. Isn't being loved by a woman like me enough? We see a woman's leg kick the door open, and Roger is shocked to hear the woman saying, who did you come to take again? Both crews go crazy as we're told that this woman's every move was captivating. They're competing for her to take their gifts like flowers. We're told and see that in her presence, flowers wilted and birds lost their songs and people turned against each other. We see her face as she says, oh, Scopper. And just like Sanji would be, despite the fact that she's attacked him, he's just happy to hear her say his name. She deals with Roger next, and for the record, Roger was not like Luffy, who seems immune to falling head over heels for people. Roger acts like he's going to swing his sword and get revenge for Scopper, but it's clear he's shaky and can't do much in her presence. Shaki stands over him, giving him a view he no doubt loves, and with hearts in his eyes, the future Pirate King says, damn it, I like Shakuyaku too much. She laughs and says, you too, Roger? The narrator says her beauty humbled even the mightiest warriors. She loved her cigarettes even back then, and she says to Roger, you should know I'll never submit to another's captivity. She tells her crew to take their treasure while Roger is still looking with hearts in his eyes at Shaki, while Gloriosa is upset and telling him, Roger, you know I'm the one who likes you, right? It's so funny. Roger is just cruel in how blatant he is when he says, out of the way, Gloriosa, you're blocking Shaki. Shaki comments to Rayleigh, the guy she'll end up with, saying, Rayleigh, it must be hard for you, and he says, yeah, I'm surrounded by idiots. She winks at him, and you can see he's affected too, but he definitely played it off more cool than Roger and Scopper. At this point, as if this wasn't enough famous characters at once, we get the Marines make an appearance who spotted the Kuja in Roger Cruise. It's not just any marine ship either. At first, Roger thinks they gotta set sail, but when he finds out it's Garp's ship, Roger loses it and gets pumped, saying, "Alright men, new plan, crush them," while Garp says the same, holding a cannonball in his hands. Garp is introduced as Vice Admiral and future hero of the Marines and grandfather of Luffy. Garp and Roger don't waste much time and immediately attack each other, Garp with the move Meteor Fist and Roger with the move Aramitama. Now, what can get these two clear rivals to team up together against Rocks? I can't wait to find out. The narrator tells us that Roger, Garp, and Rocks were the three who would be spoken of as legends in the Great Pirate era, but at this time, their blood burned with the passion of youth. I love that. Of course, even if Roger looks funny with his face punched in, the two were clearly still very strong, and already we see the Conqueror's Haki shockwaves. The narrator also tells us that the Kuja were at the height of their popularity at this time. No one could speak of this era without mentioning them. Gloriosa, though, we see is now afflicted with heartache. As the narrator says, many saw them as idols, and their wanted posters fetched a high price. Stalkers taking creep shots became a daily nuisance for the crew. Soon after this encounter, Shakuyaku was crowned empress and her popularity continued to grow to an unimaginable level. Note, Gloriosa will also serve as a member of the Rocks Pirates and be at God Valley, so I look forward to seeing how her lovesickness over Roger plays out with all that. We are still in a flashback, but now we jump to what is happening on Elbaf at Ida's Tavern. A giant is telling the young Herald, "I saw Loki drowning after the ship capsized. He's always acting up so badly when you're not around. I honestly wondered whether I should help him or not." Now this last line is crazy if you think about it. It's like he said to Herald, "I was wondering if I should let your kids sleep with the fishes or not." Herald, feeling guilty because of Loki's behavior, apologizes and thanks him for saving Loki. He tells Loki to pull himself together. And Ida, Hiruden's mom, is actually the one who gets mad at Loki's behalf. Keep in mind how much Loki's own mom hated him, and here Ida is treating him like her very own son. She says to the man, "What the heck? You shouldn't have even hesitated to help. How would you feel if Loki had died?" Herald tries to calm her down, saying, "Come on, Ida. Loki is the one who selfishly took the ship and sailed off." You gotta respect the way she answers the king, mind you. She says, "So what? If he can just stand by and let a kid die, I'd drag him under and drown him myself 100 times over." Loki says, "I didn't ask anyone to save me," and the captain says, "Damn it, that's the piss poor attitude I was talking about." Ida tells Loki, "You lost your mom and your dad's always quite busy." Very true. "I bet you must get pretty lonely, right, Loki?"